Well, let's tell you about the Vodacom story. Now, Vodacom has been given an ultimatum to pay the Please Call Me inventor today or face a national shutdown. Well, 3 years ago, the Constitutional Court ordered Vodacom and former employee Nkosana Makate to negotiate and agree on a reasonable compensation, but they still haven't reached an agreement. Let's go live to business anchor Devin Murugan, who joins us from VodaWorld. Devin, good morning to you. So talk to us about what is happening there. The understanding is that the headquarters at Vodacom, they've shut down for the day.
Yeah, good morning, Dolly. That's right. I mean, a couple of hundreds of protesters here supporting the Please Call Me movement have arrived. Banners are up. We have an amount of 70 billion rand slated on those banners. This is what these protesters say Vodacom should be paying to the Please Call Me inventor, Nkosana Makate. And yes, as loud as possible, trying to convince Vodacom to actually go ahead with that payment. With me now is the leader of that Please Call Me campaign, Modise Tswana. Modise, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. So the ultimatum has come and gone. It's past 10 o'clock. That was the deadline you set for Vodacom to make a move and make a payment. Of course, we don't know what that real amount is. You've put an amount of 70 billion rand on your banner. What moves are you embarking on next? Those gates haven't opened and you haven't seen a Vodacom official come out to accept any memorandum of yours. What's next?
This is the day when a black man dies for economic freedom. This is the day whereby we say, kill us today and keep your riches. Because in this country, what is happening is that a black man should stay poor. 18 years after this invention, so many millions have been benefited by Vodacom, and yet they are not willing to give the inventor his dues.
So you have a Constitutional Court judgment here which said, fair enough, there was a legal binding commitment made on behalf of Protocol's project development manager at that stage, saying that yes, the verbal discussion was indeed something that could be gripped upon legally. But of course, at the end of that judgment, it ultimately put or vested the power in the Vodacom CEO to say, come up with this amount if all else fails and present that amount to the Please Call Me inventor. That was done, and Mr. Makete then rejected that. So it becomes a little bit of a legal tussle for you to actually demand your position, or does it?
In that judgment, the judge stated that Vodacom took an apartheid rule to actually suppress Makate's rights. It actually also said that Makate and Vodacom is giving them reasonable time to negotiate. I'm sure South Africa will agree with me that 3 years is not reasonable time to negotiate. Even Codesa, that gave us this freedom, didn't take 3 years. Krizani had to die for us to be able to vote. I'm saying to Vodacom today, I'm willing to die for Makate to get his freedom.
You've got a number of 70 billion rand on the banner. I mean, a lot of questions have been asked in the week as how you got to that figure. What sort of calculations are involved in that? I mean, the Constitutional Court, again, I want to say, did say that there's common cause that billions of rands could have been generated. But how did we get to that 70 billion rand figure?
Let's talk facts. In 2008, Alan Craig himself, he said he's getting 20 million Please Call Me's daily. And that's in South Africa. Remember, Please Call Me service is running in India. India alone is the most populated country in the world. So how many Please Call Me's are they doing there? In Colombia, in Tanzania, how many Please Call Me's are they happening there? Makate is only asking for 15% of whatever revenue that they've got. Alan Craig Jr. got 85% for his service, Look For Me. So a white person gets 85%, a black person cannot even get the 15% that he's crying for. So what are we saying?
All right, so what happens from this point? We've already heard from the Constitutional Court. We are down to a situation where you are lobbying for support for Mr. Makate and his invention and for him to get decently paid, as some would say. Is it just about going ahead and fostering and garnering more support from all corners of society? What's the next move for Vodacom?
Look, this is Please Call Me movement is a consumer movement. We are fighting a lot of causes. However, this Please Call Me is not respecting the constitutional rulings of this country. However, what we are saying, we're going to escalate. I'm saying to Vodacom, I was willing today to see Makate together with Shamil Joseph holding hands and saying, guys, we have reached a settlement. However, I was met with JMPD, I was met with the SAPS, guarding a private property. So I'm saying now, from after speaking to you, I'm going there. I want to see what actions are they going to take towards us to protect Vodacom and its illegal actions that they're doing.
They've done nothing for a week or more than that, pointing to the Constitutional Court judgment. They're unlikely to move anywhere else. What happens if they don't move?
If who doesn't move? If Vodacom doesn't move, we'll make them move. The apartheid government didn't move. We made it move. People died in June 16. People died in 1960. People also died in the 80s. So now I'm saying in 2019, I'm dying for economic freedom. I'm not going to be a black person shouting economic freedom, and yet not going straight to white monopoly capital. I'm going now to white monopoly capital, and I'm saying to it, show me what are you willing to do to give a black person his what he deserves. Give him his shoes. That's all we're asking for.
What do you say, is the Please Call Me movement quite independent of Mr. Makate himself? I mean, do you have any other links with him apart from just lobbying for the cause that he has?
Mr. Makate is a black person. I have a link with every black person in this country. Mr. Makate was born in Katlong, a township far away, survived 1993 black on black wars. Mr. Makate decided to come with the Please Call Me invention. So I've got every link with him, and I'm pledging my solidarity with him. And this is not only about money. This is about black excellence. He came with the Please Call Me invention. Let him bend.
How long are you planning to stand here outside and wait for Vodacom?
I'm not planning to stand. I'm going to invade Vodacom now.
Oh, yes.
I'm not standing. I'm saying, Vodacom, use all your might. Let's see where it ends. If it ends with us dying for Makate to get what he deserves, bring it on.
Going to have to leave it there. Well, there you have it, Toli, the leader of the Please Call Me movement here. Hundreds of others in support of that Please Call Me inventor, and Nkosana Makate. They're saying that, no, they are willing to invade the premises of Vodacom. We could see that happening for what they say is a just payment. As I said before, 70 billion rand is the figure they have on these banners behind me.
Devon, it does sound as though the movement there says this may go on for an indefinite time. Where is the MEC of Education in Gauteng, who's also very vocal, particularly on social pages? Where is he near that particular protest? Panyaza Lesufi, this is.
Well, Toli, he did say before that he gives his support behind this protest here. In fact, we did expect him here in the last few minutes while doing the interview. He could have actually arrived behind me, but for as long as we are here, he hasn't been here. I have seen many people branding different shirts, different slogans of political parties, some wearing shirts of the ANC as well, but then a lot wearing T-shirts branding the Please Call Me movement. So it certainly does look like you have a diverse crowd here, Toli.
Right, Devon Murugan outside VodaWorld, the headquarters of Vodacom, the mobile network operator here in Johannesburg. All right.